Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's dive in. Today's character, 空. Okay, every time as a Chinese, when I pronounce this sound, 空, it almost sounds, give you the space sense of how empty it sounds like. Hear it, 空, right? We have this ONG pronunciation to kind of carve out a space inside your mouth. So your chamber, you kind of max out your sound chamber when pronounce it, and it has the best resolution, resonation, so to speak, when you pronounce it. Kung, okay. And the character is, I translate as void, means emptiness, came from caveman age. That's my imagination. The reason why is because, okay, last episode we talked about silence. And then this big arch with a chimney thing, like silence, like voiceless, specifically no human voice, no words spoken kind of silence. And this human space, I made it clear, if there's an arch by itself, it simply means a space. And now when I have a tiny tip on the top, I translate it as chimney on top because, cooking, just imagine that's a kitchen installed over there. That means evidence of humans living in there, right? And I would imagine no matter what kind of living condition, eating is an important part of it, and cooking, and therefore you have enough ventilation or way to get the fumes out. That was critical back then as well as today. So this reasonably is a guess at the chimney, like on top of the space. And then the two sides on top, left and right corners, carve out these corners, give you the sense of there are, you can almost visualize it as it's the within the cave. These are the wind channels that are passing through the mountains. And the bottom two horizontal lines connected with one vertical line is the ancient architect tool that to use to make sure the housing they're building are perfectly perpendicular to the ground. So things are not going to collapse, not that Italians do, all right? So Chinese build their house like perfectly stack up. So that's the architect's tool. And eventually it may not necessarily mean it's, building a house scenario. It simply became the symbol of human tools that we use. Now, in the context of this space, it's human space with a chimney on top, but with the two air channels on the top left, right, then it can be, plus this house building too, it can be imagined as ancient times, we're still living in caves before we can build a self-standing architecture, right? Before we have that capacity, we have to find a shelter somewhere in nature. So it would be caveman living condition. But you have the chimney built in, it made it your personal space, and you have to sort of have the tools represented by this simple symbol, like human tools, to carve out, to make the space more comfortable, so to speak. So I would imagine caveman living condition would be inside the mountains, and they have to carve out a space, and that's tool set they use. So eventually it means emptying out the inside, a portion of the inside of the cave, so that you can make it into human quarters. And that became the concept of void, like to empty out, like there is nothing in there so that you can live in there. And I really like this representation of what void feels like. It's one human in this giant space where there's nothing in there. It's like almost, yeah, it's white out and some sort of lighting, indoor lighting, but it's like make you feel small, but also the space, it's so undecorated, it's so empty of expression that it gives you the sense of this concept of void is you in that empty space, you in a totally uncluttered space. I would like to personally experience that space where just go somewhere and this vast emptiness and blankness. I don't think we have enough of that in our busy contemporary life. And that's in the Zen concept is what kind of pathway to gain wisdom, because you need to unclutter, you need to clear out your thoughts, your space, time-wise as well, like slow down, and then you can get somewhere, hopefully. All right, so that's cool. Thank you for your time. See you another day.